This morning, let's talk about a flashlight. Oh! Let's try that again. This morning, let's talk about flashlight. Oh, jeez. Oh. So today, I want to talk about the Warrior X Pro flashlight that is made by Olight. This thing blows my mind. Everywhere I've seen so far online regarding this flashlight, everybody said this is not an everyday carry. Okay, I can understand why. It's kind of big. I don't have the specs, but you can see compared to this pair of sunglasses that didn't help me with this light just before, you can see that's smaller than, just a little bit smaller than this case, okay? This thing, in my opinion, this can be an everyday carry. Now, there is something to consider with the Warrior X Pro that maybe you haven't considered yet, and that's what I want to discuss today. I'm not going to be getting into all the specs because you guys know what the specs are. You've probably seen a million YouTube videos. I just wanted to do a real life demonstration on whether or not this light can help you in your everyday. So here's an example of how this flashlight, how well this flashlight works. You see how dark this area is right now? There's no light fixture. Okay, this is what we're working with right now. Now we're going to throw this flashlight on high. And now I might as well have a fixture in there. How amazing is that? Alright, just woke up in the middle of the night, heading downstairs to get something to drink and turn the light on. Okay, I'm coming downstairs, I'm using this thing, my eyes are just waking up. I'm using this thing indirectly because my eyes are still sensitive. So I'm using it indirectly. I'm not looking at where the beam is. I'm looking at where the surrounding, the outer surrounding light is. I think that's called the corona. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm looking around and I'm using the corona to help me get around right now because my eyes hurt. If I need to come read this milk jug, take a look at this. I need to read the label, right? I want to inspect this. I can't read it. So I'm going to go like this. You see? You got to use the surrounding light. And that's one drawback that you might not have considered about this light. It is so bright that it could hurt your eyes if you're not using it in a certain way. But if you use it in the way that I just described to you, you won't have an issue, and you'll be able to carry a light of this magnitude at all times. So it can be your everyday carry. You can use it for these various purposes if you utilize it in a certain way. Let's say you come into the bathroom, the power went out for some reason. You throw this light up, just like during dinner. You throw this light up. Now you can see the bathroom without an issue. This is on low mode, lights up the entire bathroom, and you can get around without the light. You can do that in the kitchen too. Let's go back out to the kitchen with a bigger room to give you an idea of what you can do with this light. I've shown you how it works in there when we were eating dinner. Throw it up like this. This flashlight, if the power went out, this flashlight is illuminating the entire kitchen. It looks kind of like a disco ball because we got the fan going. it illuminates everything. So I might as well have a light on right now. Pretty amazing, right? Just wanted to show you, not only does the low beam, like you've seen, light up this entire kitchen, the high beam will do even better, obviously. Let's take a look at the high beam. The low beam was perfectly sufficient. With this high beam on, you don't need a light. Now that high beam is not going to last forever like this. It's going to slowly decrease in its brightness. But let me tell you, after 2 minutes, the light dies down because that light gets very hot, so it automatically dials down in brightness. It is, you can't even notice the difference. If I waited here for 2 minutes, you would not be able to see the difference. It would be just as bright, and slowly it'll dial down until you know the light's dead. But again, you won't be able to notice the difference really. This room will still be just as bright, and you'll get the same effect. So if you know how to use this light, this can be an everyday carry. You just need to know how to utilize it. So you can have the power of a spotlight on your belt clip at all times if you know how to use it properly. So not that you'd ever really need this, but I want to show you the light during the day. You see this light right here? This is the light during the day. This is the bright light during the day. The other one was the dim option. I just wanted to show you how you can flag somebody down in the middle of the day with this light. You see the sun's out? This thing is still super bright. I don't know if you could see ahead of me. There's trees. See the trees? See the flashlight going across the trees? No light, light. No light, light. This thing is super bright, and this is the middle of the day. Sunny day. Here's a view at night in the pitch black. Well, alright, let's start with low mode. This is low mode. It's extremely hard to see, and I really don't want to point it at the neighbors, like the neighbors' houses and stuff, but it goes extremely far. This beam, it goes over 2,000 feet. I think it's like 2,000, I think 60 feet or something like that. This is the low beam, and now this is the high beam. Look at this. You can light up the night with this thing. It's incredible. Very, very useful to have. You can get you can use this during the day, it's so bright. Okay, so another situation that you might find yourself in the everyday is where you're walking down the street and you meet somebody you don't like, right? Somebody tries to bother you, somebody tries to mug you, or maybe you're home, right? You wake up in the middle of the night and all of a sudden you realize somebody's in the house. This light is a tactical flashlight. You might be able to see, yeah, you can see it, these ridges. These ridges aren't exactly sharp, but they're not exactly, you know, they're hard, very hard ridges. You'll find people on other YouTube videos hacking away at trees or cinder blocks with this flashlight. And really what they're trying to simulate is the fact that you can hit something with this. And these are very hard, very hard. So you can hit something with this without an issue. The flashlight's going to be fine. Whatever you're hitting is going to have the problem. So that's what they're trying to simulate. So I'm not a violent person. I would not recommend hitting anybody with this, because if you do, you're going to hurt them, and you know, you shouldn't want to be hurting somebody. But if you were so inclined and you needed during your everyday or you're at home, whatever the case is. If you needed to use this in that type of situation, that's what this is made for. Another thing that I would recommend, however, is blinding somebody, because with this flashlight you can blind someone, not permanently but temporarily. You can temporarily blind somebody, and that might be just enough, that might be just enough to be able to get away from the situation and do what you need to do in order to protect you or your loved ones. I hope that didn't hurt your eyes, but that was the low mode. So if you shine this in somebody's eyes, high mode, low mode, even low mode, but high mode, you hit them in the face with that beam, you're good. So that's another scenario that you might find yourself in. So this can be used as a self-defense mechanism without permanently damaging somebody if you use it the right way. So just a quick example of the footprint that this thing has when it's on your belt. This is how I usually rock it. I don't know what type of clothes you guys wear. This is when it's in your pocket. Yes, it is larger than some flashlights. You can find flashlights that are this big, that have a decent light to them. But with this thing, you're always prepared, and you can fit it in your pocket. Very small footprint, in my opinion. Yes, it sucks having to carry anything, but at the end of the day, if you want to be prepared, you want to be prepared. So, clips on the belt. It's got a really strong clip. That thing's not breaking anytime soon, as far as I can tell. All right, guys. So we took a look at a couple of different scenarios that may cause you to want to own this Warrior X Pro, and the main reason behind this video was to focus on whether or not you would want this exact flashlight for an everyday carry purpose. So as we touched on, as far as the footprint, in my opinion, and I believe you would agree with me, is not that big of a deal. It goes on your belt, can go in your pocket. We saw how easy it's concealed. Not a problem, right? So the size itself, not an issue in at least my book. The next thing that we focused on was the brightness that this thing has. This thing has some tremendous brightness, and in some people's opinions, it may be too bright for an everyday carry light. In my opinion, if you use it correctly, like it was discussed in the video, if you use it with some care, it doesn't matter. You can use it every single day for any purpose that you need to use a flashlight for without an issue. You just have to actually focus on what you're doing and make sure that you use it in the way that is necessary for that application. As far as an everyday flashlight, I can't see why you would not want to have this, because on your belt, in your bag, in your pocket, if you have this, this Warrior X Pro, you will be able to tackle any task that requires a flashlight, whether that's flagging somebody down at night, flagging somebody down during the day because it is just that bright, as we saw in the video. Protection, you can protect yourself, you can blind someone who's bothering you. Okay, that's pretty awesome. Not every flashlight does that. You can't do that with a mini flashlight. You can't do that with your cell phone. It has tactical purposes, very hard, very strong. If you need to break a window in your car because you're locked in your car for whatever reason, you bang it with this thing, you'll be fine. If you lost something, you have to inspect something, you need to look for something in the middle of the dead at night, this thing is going to light up the world for you. Look at this. So, is this a good everyday flashlight? In my opinion, absolutely. You would not want to have anything but this. Because you know what? I'm that kind of person where I want to do overkill. I would rather know that I have everything I need on me in as small a package as possible in order to be productive, to be safe. And with this Warrior X Pro from Olight, I can't imagine you getting any better than this for an everyday carry. So while many people, they do not feel that this is an everyday carry flashlight, I do not feel like you should have any flashlight other than this for an everyday carry purpose. So that's my review. I hope that you guys appreciated it, and I hope that it helps some of you out there. I spent hours and hours and days looking up the perfect flashlight for an everyday carry. I looked up a lot of reviews on the Warrior X Pro. Many people turned me away from this light for an everyday carry because of the size and because of the brightness. I don't want you guys to fall into that same trap that I almost fell into. I almost ended up buying an inferior light. When I actually purchased this, I said, you know what? It's on Amazon, right? It's a prime item. Let me purchase this. Let me just do what I can do, and if it's no good, I guess I could return it. I am not returning this unless I have a problem, and I do not foresee a problem with this, okay? So I hope you guys appreciate that video, and I hope it helps some of you guys out there. Remember, I spent hours. If you want a good flashlight that's going to get you through the day and then some, this is it. Battery life is fantastic, strong as an ox, bright as the sun on low. Just imagine what high does. So anyway, take care, and I hope you're all safe out there.